Hi, and welcome to the Flex with Aaliyah. Today, we're talking about personal trainers, how to spot a dud and find a keeper. Because it is so hard to sift through all the bullshit and find someone who's going to help you on your fitness and health journey. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Fitfluencers versus trainers. And we talked mostly about Fitfluencers and what they are and what characterizes them. And in this episode of the Flex with Aaliyah, we're specifically targeting trainers. Because how do you know what to look for? Well, take a listen and we'll break it down for you. My name's Aaliyah and welcome. I'm going to kick things off with a quote. A truly great trainer is hard to find, difficult to part with, and impossible to forget. I absolutely love this quote. Because if you've ever had a personal trainer that you've attached yourself to, you know this to be true. And if not, maybe you can think of somebody in your life, maybe a teacher who you really felt a connection with, where they taught you a lot of things, you respected them, they challenged you, you learned a lot. And that's what I think this quote does. It's rare to find a really good trainer. And then once you find a really good trainer, let's say you move away, it's difficult to part with them because you found something in them that you valued, that you wanted to emulate, whatever it is. And then they're impossible to forget. They left a lasting impression on you. And this quote really resonates with me because I see that in my own life with trainers or teachers I've worked with and from things I've heard from people I've worked with. So what is a personal trainer? A personal trainer is someone who is invested in your health. It's a person who has the ability to design health, wellness, and physical fitness programs that are tailored to your specific needs, wants, and goals. It's a combination of expertise in the field, interpersonal and motivational skills, along with knowing how to lead individuals and groups. So it's kind of a compilation of several different characteristics or qualities. This compared to a fitness influencer, though, is very different. A Fitfluencer is someone on social media who promotes a healthy lifestyle or active living through their content. They might share workout plans or recommend products, and they depict an idealized body. So their followers look up to them and try to emulate their lifestyle. Sometimes that might look like eating similar meals, buying the same products, whether it be supplementations or clothes, trying to recreate workouts. And these followers do that because of what they pictured they want themselves to look like. You see a body and you're like, yes, that is what I want. I want that six-pack. I want that nice glowing skin. I got the nice shoulder caps, strong-looking legs. That's who I want to be. And then you latch on to that idea thinking that what this person is presenting is their honest, actual life. And it's not a true picture of fitness or health. So the personal trainer's job is really to help you go from point A, where you are, to point B, where you want to be. That could be weight loss. That could be strength goals, skill gains. Maybe it's participating in a certain event or race. They take you in your current state and provide the tools and assistance to go from current state to ideal state or the new state. Ideal does not mean perfect. Okay, so get that out of your head. When I say ideal state, that does not mean perfect, whatever you see in your head. It means what you're trying to achieve. Getting from the starting line of a marathon to the finish line of a marathon. Losing these 10 pounds. Putting on 20 pounds to a lift. That's what I mean by ideal state. So, how do you find a good trainer? Well, you can absolutely use Google. Search them. You could type into anything Google probably. What is a good trainer? Personal trainers in my area. That's the first step. Well, actually, the first step is recognizing that you want or need a personal trainer. Then I would say even before you start to look for a trainer, think about what you want in a personal trainer. That is such an important thing that a lot of people overlook. And an easy way to think about that is consider your friends. You're not friends with every single person. Some people really annoy you. Some people you just don't jive with, or you get the ick from. The same thing applies to a personal trainer. Think about what qualities you value. So when you start to look for a personal trainer, you already have an idea of this individual. Now, they might not meet all your needs, but they might meet most of your needs or desires. And that's important because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them and trusting them with your health and fitness. For me personally, when I've worked with trainers, I haven't jived with all of them. No way. There was a guy that I used to lift with, and he seemed bit of a chauvinist, and he talked down to women or talked poorly of them. And I was able to handle that environment for so long, and I was like, I don't want to work with this guy anymore. And I also felt like he didn't take into account how my body needed to be trained, and he just took a program and applied it to all of his athletes. But I'm not the same person as person B. So the exact same program can't be set up for me because it just won't work. I'm long and lean. So doing intense volume, meaning heavy weight, high repetitions in a morning session and a PM session 4 days a week does not work for my body type. If I had a little bit more heft, and I say that in a good way, my legs were thicker, my arms weren't as long, my body, my anatomy would be able to actually handle that work capacity. So that was another particular reason why I didn't jive with this coach. And I'm telling you this as examples because they're qualities that you might not actually think about initially. And once you start working with someone, they populate. It's like a relationship. You have that honeymoon phase, and then the masks start coming off of what the real personality is. And sometimes you can move forward with it, and sometimes you can't. And I'd say when you're looking for a trainer, Google them. Okay, who's in your area? Okay, I'm a female, I want a female coach. I'm a male, I want a male coach. I'm a female, I don't care who my coach is. I just want them to be within 10 miles of my house. Maybe you want that personal trainer to come to your house and bring the equipment. Or you have equipment, you want them to come and train you in your space, or vice versa. They have a space and you're going to their location to be trained. There's a lot of diversity in trainers. Sometimes there's online, and it's a virtual performance program. But before you latch onto a trainer, you want to check out their credentials. Are they qualified? Are they knowledgeable? What education do they have? Online, you see these bodies and they look so hot, they look so sexy, they look so nice. But that's not education. Don't put stock in what somebody looks like. That's not knowledge. How many times have you gone to the doctor and that doctor, they work in the health industry and they are overweight or unhealthy? but they are knowledgeable in their field. You still trust them because of their qualifications. Yes, I wouldn't want an overweight personal trainer. Okay, that might be what you're thinking. Absolutely, that makes sense, because if someone is practicing what they preach, you would think that they would be healthy in certain capacities. Not that they need a six-pack or anything like that, but look like they are active or in shape if I'm going to take tips from them and expect to improve. But you really want them to have that knowledge base. So when you're searching for the trainers, click on their websites. Does it talk about their experience? How many years experience? Maybe you have a big goal or a lofty health issue, and you don't want someone who's only been in the workforce for 1 year. You want someone who's been in it for 5, 10, who's dealt with some of the things you're working on. That's why when you look at their website, you'll be able to see what qualifications do they have? What is their experience? Are there reviews about the trainer? Those are all good pieces that, one, make the trainer reliable, two, verify that they have the education to help you. Outside of that knowledge, you can call them and talk to them. Any good trainer is going to give you the time of day to learn about what you as a client want, especially if they want you as a client. Now, you have to understand, as a client, they might not take you because they can be just as choosy about their clients as you are about a trainer. And they should. A good trainer will. Because you might not be the population that trainer wants to work with. So usually that first call is to get a feel for what this potential client wants or needs, and as a trainer, what your direction is as a trainer. Are you guys a good fit? And you might not be. So don't be surprised if you get turned away, just like they are not going to be surprised if you turn them away. It's just the way the cookie crumbles in this field. On top of that, when you start working with a trainer, you would expect them to be professional. So how they act. And that could come off a myriad of ways. And it really is individualized. Sometimes you have a trainer who curses a lot. That might be off-putting to you. And to others, it might be fine. They might like it. It might motivate them. Maybe this trainer's a little bit too touchy. And to you, it's coming off in an inappropriate way, even though it's not meant to be that way. Along with that is communication. You want a trainer who's going to be communicative with you, and vice versa. You want to feel comfortable to bring things up to the trainer. Hey, I feel like I'm stuck. I'm struggling. I don't really like this piece. But as a trainer, yep, they want to make you happy, but they also want to give you your results. And they know better what you need than you need. And I will say, from a trainer's perspective, that is the hardest thing. The hardest thing is people who think they know what they need. Because if they could do what you could do, they wouldn't need you. So if you're a client, remember that. You want this personal trainer for a particular reason. So don't poo-poo what they're doing. You can question it, want more information, want it to be explained what the process is. Absolutely, all valid things to discuss with your trainer. But this is what your trainer went to school for. This is their shit. Let them help you, because that's really why you went to them, for help. Then we have empathy. Even though my job is in the health and fitness industry, I'm also a psychologist to the clients I have. Why? Because they're dealing with real life stuff outside of this, and it comes into the gym. Maybe they're going through a breakup. Maybe somebody died. Maybe they've gained 5 pounds. Perhaps their numbers went up and they're feeling stressed. Maybe they have seasonal depression. You are there as a support system to this person. You have to give a shit about what is going on in this person's life. Because as a trainer, you know how your personal life can impact your health and fitness journey. And being receptive of your clients and what they're going through is important. I know the days that I feel fat or unhealthy, sometimes I want someone to give me a shove in the right direction or to just listen to me. That's no different from my clients when they are going through some stuff. They want someone to confide in, and you are a safe space, or you should be a safe space. So if your trainer doesn't create an environment where you feel comfortable, that's a red flag. You also want them to be adaptive. You might have done something stupid and slipped on ice and rolled your ankle. Went on a hike walking your dog, slipped on a rock, sprained your ankle, twisted your wrist. Whatever it is, your trainer should be well versed and educated to adjust the program for you. And that's being adaptive. Or maybe they come to you and they're like, oh God, my back's really tight today. So then adjusting the program and not fixating on the plan that was created. So you want a trainer who's adaptive and patient. There's going to be times as a client, you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel lost. You're going to feel like you're not making progress. Because I guarantee you, your trainer has experienced all those things that you're feeling. So you want someone who's going to be patient with you. Maybe re-explain things, whether it's the first time, second time, fifth time, doesn't matter. And I think these last two qualities that I've written down are important. You want a trainer to be honest with you. Now, some of you guys might not want the trainer to be honest with you because you want them to tell you you're the shit. You can go to the CrossFit Games. You can be an Olympian. You're amazing. Of course, you get 100 pounds to your back squat in 2 months. For most of us, that's not going to be reality. So you want a trainer who's going to be honest with you. That doesn't mean they're rude when they tell you those things, but you want them to provide real information to you that's going to help you progress. If I'm working with someone who's like, I want to be an Olympian, okay, well, what does that look like to you? What does Olympian, do you know what work goes into that? Do you have time? And being realistic helps them to trust you because you're being honest with them. And outside of education, I think one of the key things a trainer should be is invested. If you do not feel invested by your trainer, move on. If your trainer doesn't give two shits about you, move on. You want someone who's going to care whether you show up or not. You want someone who's more excited about your successes than you are. From personal experience, I love that. When I see my clients thrive, oh my God, it's like ecstasy because I knew what was achievable. I could see the plan. They themselves might not have it. I'm like, oh my God, look at what you just did. You are their biggest cheerleader because you know what they put into it and you know what you put into it. And it's so exciting when it comes to life. It's amazing. If that didn't get you pumped up, I don't know what does. But I know for me as a trainer, when I have clients that PR or accomplish a skill, I'm through the roof, dancing around, so excited, like, oh my God, I'm more excited for them because they couldn't see the big picture. But now the big picture's right here, oh my God. And that's really exciting. So if those are all the good qualities, what are the bad qualities? Obviously, they're the inverse of the good ones. So maybe they don't have the credentials. And you just found Joe Schmo off of Google, Joe's Gym. He doesn't have any certifications. He doesn't have any degrees. Abort. Now, he might have experience and he learned from other coaches. Sure. There are trainers like that. It's harder to find good ones like that, and it's a little bit riskier to trust them. So just keep that in mind. On top of that, a lot of personal training is one-on-one. So you would expect that your trainer is keeping records of the workouts, logging what you do, tracking your progress. If not, what the hell are they going off of? How do they know what they are working you towards? You know, when I train people, it's almost like I'm training myself. They are paying me to help them. Sure, do I think it's great if they record their information? Yep. But how much they're paying for a quality trainer, the trainer is going to be recording that information down. It's my job to remember what weight you did and to note it down. That's how I see it. Other trainers might view that differently. With my clients as a personal trainer, I have the progressive workouts. I see what weights they're doing. That way I can track it. They are paying me to chart that, indirectly speaking. Another quality of a bad trainer is like not seeing results. But there is a huge caveat to that. You have to be honest with yourself about the effort you're putting in before you start blaming your trainer for lack of results. They give you the tools. They do not do the work for you. You have to step up and do the work. They are giving everything to you. They are spelling it out for you. And if you don't do it or do it at a level that's going to produce change, that is on you, not your trainer. And when you start working with a new trainer, you want to give it at least 3 to 6 weeks to start to see some change. And the change will vary depending on what your goals are. Are you preparing for a marathon? Are you prepping for a figure competition? Are you trying to put weight on a lift? Are you trying to reduce body fat? The results are going to vary based on your goal. So keep that in mind too. I had talked about empathy as a quality and communication. So if you have a trainer that's not listening to your concerns and needs, that's going to be a red flag as well. Like, my job as a trainer is to give you what you want. You are paying me to provide a service, a quality service. So I have to be honest with you if I think you're doing too much or too little. But I also have to take into account what my client needs. And I've had many clients be like, I want more. And I have to convey to them and get them on board with the plan that quality over quantity is always more important. So many clients out there, and you might be one of them, want to go 100% every day, all day. I want to feel sore. I want to max out. I want to run hard. Give it to me. But you're running your body ragged. Like, you wouldn't drive a car. I mean, maybe some of us would. But think about how often you're supposed to get an oil change, how often you replace the gas, how often you change your tires or rotate them. Your body is a machine. To keep it up to snuff, especially when you're paying someone to help you do that, you need to trust the mechanic, not the driver. The driver brought the car into the mechanic. Let the mechanic do the job. Ask. Get information, absolutely. But also know that the mechanic is there to help your car run smoothly. The personal trainer is there to help you run smoothly and achieve your goals in a safe, progressive manner. So if a trainer focuses more on intensity and weight over quality, no, get rid of them. You're going to hurt yourself. Hands down, you're going to hurt yourself. Form always trumps quantity. Doing something a lot poorly does not make it effective or efficient. And that's scary. It's scary that there's plenty of people out there who trust personal trainers blindly. I knew someone who started working at a gym, and I went on a little rant. I was like, how did this company hire this person who doesn't even have a personal training cert? And it's a pet peeve of mine. And I knew someone who went to the gym, and they were telling me that they got a service when they signed up, that they got a free personal training session. And I was honest with them. I said, hey, I do not feel comfortable with you going to this gym because of who they hired. And I know this person personally and what their qualifications are. If this is the type of person they're hiring, I'm not sure I'm on board with the quality of this place. And they can make their own decision. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm providing my professional opinion because I want them to be safe. I want them to be smart. How I like to view training people, I think about what I would want from a trainer. And I try to bring all those qualities to my clients because I don't want someone who's half-assed. I don't want someone who doesn't communicate with me. I don't want someone who's not knowledgeable. All the qualities I can think of that I would want, because if I'm qualified and have all these credentials and qualifications, when I'm looking for a trainer, I want to be what I would look for. Because I already have all these qualities, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. So if I was going to look for someone who's going to train me, I'm looking for next level shit, which means when I train my clients, I want to be their next level shit. So I bring it in whatever capacity that client needs, because everybody is different. And I want you guys to be knowledgeable about pricing for personal trainers. There are so many programs out there that are $15, maybe $100. Do you know why they're so cheap? They're cheap because they're generic plans. They are not specific to you. They are not specific for your needs. They are very generic. Now, is that part of this business? Yes. Do I have some generic plans? Absolutely, that I sell. Yep, I do. And when I talk to people, I make a point to tell them that, hey, this is not specific to your goal. It's not specific to your work schedule. And that is why it's at a cheaper rate. If you would like something more personalized, this is the rate that I offer and why, or what you're going to get, which is a very personalized schedule. Like, for instance, I have 2 clients, they're husband and wife. They have 4 kids. They have a crazy schedule. And I have to work with 2 separate schedules, one from the husband, one from the wife, and make them jive. It is my job to create the equation and make sure on the 3 days a week that he can work out, he's getting the best workouts for the time he has. And that for the days, the opposing days that she works out, she's getting the most out of her workouts. That doesn't mean cram a whole bunch of shit in there. That doesn't make it the best program. A trainer has to look to your goals, consider what you're trying to achieve, take into account your schedule. There are some clients I only see once a week. So what do I do with them? It's not the same thing as a program where I'm writing 3 or 4 or 7 days for somebody. Okay, well, as a trainer, what do? They're going on vacation. They're hiking the mountains, and they are over 65. So we're going to work on some strength things that will apply to their trip. And then when they come back from their trip, we're going to work on some general health issues. So there's an ebb and flow to what the clients want or need, and the trainer has to adjust to that. So if you're someone who's looking for a top tier trainer, you want to make sure that person's educated and knowledgeable, that they are professional, able to communicate and be flexible, have patience with you, can be honest in sharing their views on your goal and how long it's going to take, and being invested in you. And if you're looking for a personal trainer, that is my main job. I own a gym, and I also do virtual performance programming. I have multiple clients across the US that I work with. And if that's something you're interested in, you should reach out. And I talked about qualifications, and I want to delve a little bit into that really quick. What the hell are qualifications? What are you looking for when you find a trainer? What type of qualifications? Well, if you want loftier credentials, you want someone who has a degree, who went to school, whether they got their bachelor's in it or their master's in it. You want someone who has a degree. So I have my master's in exercise sports science. And then another level of credentials is certifications. So I'm also certified as a personal trainer by NASM. And NASM is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. There's several other organizations. So looking for a personal trainer certification or specializations, because we have to do continuing education credits in order to keep our credentials. Maybe somebody only has a CrossFit level 1 cert. That's not the end of the world. That's not bad. So if you're tight on money, that might be someone that you could get a good program from. Is it going to be the best? Probably not. Is it going to be the worst? Probably not. You got to look what's in your price range. But you also have to think about what price you're putting on your health. And maybe you don't have health issues right now, so you're like, nah, I don't need to. It's going to be a hell of a lot more costly when you do have a health issue, so keep that in mind. Another way to think about it is, would you pay for a cheap doctor? Or would you look for a quality doctor who's not in your network and you have to pay out of pocket because they are the best? Now, maybe you don't have a whole bunch of flexible spending to go out of network and buy the best. Okay. But if it was that significant of an issue, you would, because there's no amount of money that you could put as a price cap on your health. For instance, I've gotten some people who are problem cases. They went to doctors. They went to physical therapy. They got cortisone shots and nothing resolved it. So they came to me as a last resort. So think about all the money they spent on trying that, and then they came to me. And we resolved it in 2-3 months. It was a nerve issue. She couldn't pick up her child. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't work out, and she liked being active. All these things were now hindrances. But she got a recommendation from someone I work with. She came to me, and we resolved those issues I had to be real with her. I was like, okay, it's going to take more than a month. And the stuff that we're going to do is not going to be the most exciting, but it's going to fix your issue. And sure enough, it did. And I no longer work with her because her issue was resolved, which is freaking fantastic. Because if I'm doing my job, she shouldn't stay with me unless she wants to. Because I have clients who really like the service I provide, so they stay. Or they have building goals that just get loftier and loftier. And you're also going to want a trainer who can grow as you grow. If you just want to lose 10 pounds, okay, now you've lost 10 pounds. Now what? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to do a triathlon? Maybe they're not versed in that training. So now you have to branch out and find a new trainer, which is fine. Because as you evolve, your training also has to evolve. So looking for someone new might be important. I talked a whole bunch about qualities, provide some personal examples when I was a client for some people, as a trainer for others, and things you want to look for. And I'm going to tie this all together with that quote. A truly great trainer is hard to find, difficult to part with, and impossible to forget. You want a trainer who's going to meet all those standards. They're not going to be easy to find. You're going to have to do the work to search for them. You have to take that on as your responsibility. Because when you get a shitty trainer and you pay $15 for a program and don't see results and waste that time, that money, that's on you. That's okay. You're going to learn from that experience, meaning not to pay $15 for a program, not to use that trainer. Look for someone who's hard to find. And then when you find them, it's so hard to leave them and impossible to forget. There was a guy that I worked with. He had cancer in his hip. He got a whole hip replacement because the chemo destroyed his hip. And we worked together to rebuild his strength when PT released him. And when PT released him, he was still on pain meds. He couldn't put on his socks. His wife had to help him. His independence was lost, and so was his confidence. And we started working together and build that up. And then he left the area that I was working in. Several years later, I started the virtual performance program, and he reached out. He came back to me. I was shocked because I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard from you. How are you doing? And we reconnected because I had something that he valued and would like to continue with. That's that impossible to forget part. And you just want to take them with you because either you feel so good, the results you got were amazing. You want to keep that going. That's how trainers are successful. They have to invest. So find a truly great trainer, do your work, search, think about the type of trainer you want, and go find them. Thank you for tuning into this episode of The Flex with Aaliyah. Leave a comment, leave a review, send me a message, follow, all that fun stuff. And thank you for tuning in. I really like talking to you. Have a good one. Bye, guys.